Here is your AI briefing for June 19, 2026, with 12 stories. Story 1. AI hiring tools show racial bias, systemic rejection, and creates 330-day black hole. Here's how to outsmart it. Civil rights advocates warn that automated hiring filters can auto-reject candidates within minutes, including after-hours notifications, effectively creating a 330-day black hole by burying applications without review. Rejected applicants can be screened out before a recruiter ever opens the file, making the bias invisible to both candidates and employers. That forces job seekers to chase work through manual follow-up and human referrals instead of the portal alone. Minutes-fast auto-rejections turn hiring into a roulette wheel, where applicants lose access before a human ever sees the R-sum. Story 2. China's ZAI releases GLM 5.2, a model that rivals Claude Opus using zero NVIDIA chips. ZAI's GLM 5.2 reportedly matches Claude Opus 4.8 within 1% on long-horizon coding, runs on Huawei chips only, and prices up to 82% cheaper per token than Western frontier rivals. The model's performance suggests Huawei-based training and inference can close much of the gap with top US systems without NVIDIA hardware. Its lower token pricing puts immediate pressure on enterprise buyers to compare capability against cost, not just benchmark rankings. Huawei Silicon plus 82% cheaper tokens is the real headline. China is turning chip sanctions into a cost advantage. Story 3. Perplexity's AI agent now has a brain that learns from its own mistakes. Perplexity's agent adds an overnight self-improvement memory layer that logs what actions worked or failed, then retrains its next runs to cut time and cost. The memory layer turns each run into training data, so the agent can adapt its workflow instead of repeating the same mistakes. That makes long tasks cheaper to complete because fewer dead-end actions need to be paid for on future attempts. An overnight memory layer isn't brain. It's bookkeeping that could make Perplexity's agent cheaper while quietly entrenching its mistakes.
Story 4. Geoffrey Hinton says chatbots are conscious, but there's a major catch.
Geoffrey Hinton argues some chatbots may exhibit consciousness, but warns that reducing it to a mechanical process to scale AI could create serious safety risks for users and developers. Hinton's warning centers on treating subjective experience as an engineering artifact that can be optimized away for scale. That debate raises stakes for companies shipping chatbots, because claims about awareness could change liability, oversight, and user trust. Hinton's consciousness talk gives chatbots mystique, but the actual risk is letting a philosophical argument distract from safety controls. Story 5. Amazon hopes to challenge NVIDIA more directly by selling its AI chips. AWS CEO Andy Jassy says AWS's AI chips could open a $50 billion opportunity by selling beyond Amazon data centers, with talks aimed at other operators to directly pressure NVIDIA. AWS is positioning its in-house silicon as a direct procurement option for cloud customers who want an alternative to NVIDIA GPUs. If buyers adopt it, Amazon can capture more of the AI stack while lowering dependence on a dominant rival. AWS smells a $50 billion side hustle, but selling chips to other data centers only matters if Amazon can outcompete NVIDIA on software too. Story 6. Mosaic leaks, can your research agent keep a secret? Mosaic Leaks tests how research agents can leak sensitive prompt data and citations under adversarial prompting, measuring exposure rates and recommending tighter tool access and output sanitization controls. The benchmark shows research agents can expose hidden instructions or cited sources when attackers chain prompts across tools and outputs. That vulnerability matters for enterprises because one compromised agent can leak private documents, retrieval traces, or internal prompts. Mosaic Leaks shows research agents leak secrets under pressure, so the winning move is tighter tool access, not more confident demo videos. Story 7. AI data centers just got a government-mandated fast lane to the grid? FERC ordered grid operators to prioritize AI data center interconnection timelines, but the rule doesn't add new generation during shortages, leaving congestion risk unresolved. The mandate gives AI projects scheduling priority, but it does not exempt them from physical transmission limits or local capacity shortages. Utilities and communities still face delays, higher costs, and reliability strain when data center demand lands faster than new supply. A fast lane for data centers without new generation is policymaking theater. AI gets priority, and everyone else gets the congestion bill. Story 8. Bernie Sanders unveils $7 trillion plan to give Americans control of AI industry. Bernie Sanders proposes a $7 trillion AI wealth fund that would transfer returns from major AI companies to Americans, potentially reshaping incentives and provoking resistance from leading firms. The proposal would use public ownership stakes to capture gains from the largest AI firms and distribute them nationally. That would directly confront existing shareholders by redirecting a portion of future industry profits away from private hands. Sanders' $7 trillion AI fund would make incumbents fund their own political undoing, and investors will read that as a tax with branding. Story 9. Who decides when AI is too dangerous? Hayden Field, a The Verge AI reporter, explains how Anthropic's Fable 5 intersects with Trump administration pressure after prior incidents, shifting accountability toward clearer decision rules on release risk. The discussion frames safety as a governance problem, with release decisions depending on who sets thresholds and under what evidence. That pushes labs to justify model deployment publicly instead of relying on internal judgment alone. The real question isn't who decides AI danger, it's who gets blamed when Anthropic ships anyway and regulators are already in the room. Story 10. Midjourney's new scanner maps your whole body in 60 seconds. Midjourney Medical is developing an ultrasonic CT that captures a full-body scan in 60 seconds, aiming at 1 billion monthly scans by 2031 and enabling faster diagnostics than traditional imaging workflows. The scanner uses ultrasound-based reconstruction to produce CT-like images without the long acquisition times of conventional systems. If deployed widely, it could expand screening capacity in clinics that cannot afford the throughput bottlenecks of standard scanners. A 60-second full-body scanner is diagnostic candy with radiation, privacy, and workflow trade-offs hiding behind the billion scan pitch. Story 11. Google VP Engineering, Gemini co-lead leaves for OpenAI. Noam Shazir, returning to Google's AI effort in 2024 after Character AI's $2.7 billion licensing deal, exits as a Gemini co-lead to join OpenAI's engineering leadership. Shazir's move removes one of Google's most influential early language model architects, just as Gemini is being pushed into a tougher competitive phase. OpenAI gains a senior operator with deep model-building experience and institutional knowledge of modern chatbots. Shazir's move from Google to OpenAI proves the AI talent market is just a revolving door with higher signing bonuses and better press releases. Story 12. Why do AI models struggle with online hate speech detection? During the UN's International Day for Countering Hate Speech, Al Jazeera highlights why AI misses online hate due to shifting slang, context loss, and uneven training data, leaving enforcement gaps across platforms. Hate speech systems fail when rapidly changing coded language and context make benign words or slurs impossible to classify reliably. Those errors leave moderators either missing abuse or over-removing speech, weakening trust in automated enforcement. AI hate speech detection fails because slang mutates faster than moderation policy, leaving platforms to outsource judgment to brittle classifiers. That is the briefing for today.